How did you get started? You said you contacted the Calgary Balloon Club. But why?
So in 2017, my wife and I and two other couples, we were traveling to Arizona for New Year's Eve. We went to a hockey game down there. One night we played some board games and we had the iPad on the island and we were just looking, okay, what do we want to do tomorrow? And everyone was throwing ideas out and, we were on the web and seen a hot air balloon flight. It was a sunset flight, which is very rare in Canada, just with the winds and the weather. Mm-hmm. And you had dinner in the desert and we're like, oh, hey, let's do this. So we booked it up and the following day we went to the meeting area and we went for a beautiful flight. And when we landed, the crew set up tables and they had a meal for us. And knowing what I know now, then the crew was packing up the balloon and we ate. And then when they were done packing, we were done eating and we went back. And, I remember in that flight, I was talking to my wife and I said, well, why don't more people go hot air ballooning? I didn't even know it was still around, right? So fast forward to the pandemic and then I just made that phone call and like they say, the rest is history.
What was it like that first time you went up?
I loved it. It was, it's so peaceful. You don't even feel the wind in your face because you're traveling with the wind. The only noise you hear is the burner. You have to watch what you say in your basket because the sound travels and you can hear people in their backyard. So,
I've heard that, yeah.
So you don't want to make, if people have a messy backyard, you don't want to verbally announce it saying, oh, geez, they need to clean up that
Homer,
backyard.
clean that mess up.
Exactly. So it is honestly very peaceful. And what I like about it the most is it's a new adventure every flight. Because we can't steer, we do a lot of pre-planning on weather and, we have a generally good idea with how the flight's going to go just by, our pre-planning. Winds change and things change and you never land in the same spot, land in the same area. But yeah.
Safety is a priority.
And that's the one stressful part about organizing a weather-dependent festival. We put a lot of time and effort in it, and if that weekend Mother Nature doesn't play nice, then, that's why we add a bunch of layers to the weekend, and, the excitement's still here, and as pilots, we still want to show off a little bit, so we kind of pivot and go from there. So,
where did you take your training?
I took it that September. So when I contacted the Calgary Balloon Club, my future instructor, he was just finishing up with a pilot. She finished end of August, beginning of September, and he's semi-retired. So he actually traveled down here and stayed with my wife and I. And so we just did it right here in Medicine Hat. And then the odd, set of days off I had from work, I would head up to High River and we would train 2 or 3 flights. And by May of 2021, I was a fully qualified hot air balloon pilot.
How many hours?
So with hot air balloon, you need 16 hours, a minimum. And it's got to be over 12 flights, so you can't just go for a really long flight. There's 3 tests, and then he's got to give you approval that you can go and do 2 solo flights for him. So then he chases, and you go on the balloon by yourself, and you go for 2 flights. So, it's a minimum of 16 hours, and then you just start, building your hours after you get your license.